Hey everyone, Mr. MCA here. This is a lap guide for the new lap time challenge taking place at Willow Springs Big Willow with the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL W194. To access this lap time challenge, going over to sport mode, so make sure you have menu book number 9 completed. Click on the online time trials and you'll see the current lap time challenges being held. So this is a 2-week event ending at the end of July 17, 2024. We're using a Mercedes-Benz W194 on the comfort medium tires, and your goal is to go within the 3% time range of the world record time when the event ends, as that is when your lap time gets counted, and hopefully you'll get the 2 million credits. But now let's go on over to the lap guide, where when you're doing your laps, you only want to use 3rd and 4th gears, and you want to be pretty careful with your actions as we're on the comfort medium tire. So it's really easy to get the car sliding around, and when the car slides around, you're going to be losing time that way. So you're going to bring yourself towards the right side of the track, and your first braking point is just before the 100 meter board. So full braking power for a short moment, and you're going to stay on 4th gear. Your turning point is just before the 50 meter board. So I'm still full braking power, and just as I start to turn in, I'm going to slowly ease off of the brakes, and as I hit the apex, I'm going to carefully get back on the throttle. And you can see the car is sliding around because of those comfort medium tires, so you want to try to minimize that sliding or even eliminate it if you can. You will be turning in pretty early for turn number 2, and as you start to approach this turn, you want to start to use a little bit of braking, as you want to try to stick towards the right side of the track. And by the time you're pointing towards this hill, you should already be back at full throttle, and you can get back on full throttle a bit earlier than that. It all depends on how you enter turn number 2. Now do be careful with your steering inputs, as this car can get a bit squirrely, but bring yourself towards the right. And for turn number 3, you're going to brake before the 50 meter board. And what I like to do, I like to brake and shift down to 3rd gear at the same time. For this turn, some people might wait until much later in the turn before they go down to 3rd gear. So I'm already down to 3rd gear, turning in before the 20 meter board, and you want to slowly ease off of the brakes as you're turning in. So doing a bit of trail braking. And yeah, you just want to be really careful with your inputs here, as this car loves to slide around this area. Now, shortly after the curb on the right starts, that's where you start to ease off of throttle. Use just a little bit of your braking power to adjust the car's direction. You want to try to get the car pointing down the hill as soon as you can. That way you can fully accelerate your way out. Now you're going to want to bring yourself towards the right, and you're going to dip 2 wheels onto the sand to give yourself a better entry towards the next left turn. So just after the curb on the right starts, that's where you start to brake and stay on 3rd gear. So brake, turn in before the curb on the left starts, and if you do it just right, it is possible to hug the left side of the track and get the car pointing towards the next section. That way you can quickly get back on the throttle. But whether you get it right or not, you still want to be careful getting back on the throttle, because that is another corner where the car will slide around, and if you start to slide around, you're going to lose time. Now you can take this turn flat out. You just want to use the entire width of the track so you're not turning in too much. For the final corner, you're going to use the 200 meter board as your braking marker. So you're going to use full braking power for a short moment, then start to ease off of the brakes, turning in at around the 150 meter board. Now the car will slide around here. You do want to be careful about that, so you will want to use a little bit of your throttle input to try to control the sliding. And again, if you can reduce the amount of sliding, then that should save you a bit of time right there. But yeah, that last corner is a real pain in the butt to nail down. But let's go through this again, but this time I'm not going to stop the video. So we'll be in chase cam for this lap, bumper cam after this lap ends. So brake before the 100 meter board, turning in at the 50 meter board. And do note that I am staying on 4th gear for turns number 1 and 2. Braking just as I enter turn number 2. And trying to stick towards the right. If you can stick a little bit closer to the right, then you'll shave off a little bit more time that way. And just be careful with your inputs, as this car does like to slide around due to the comfort medium tires. Brake before the 50-meter board, shifting down to third gear right away. Some people do wait until much later, so just as about to hit the apex before they shift down to third gear, trying to reduce the car from sliding around. A little bit of throttle input, dip 2 wheels onto the sand, and then full braking power for a short moment. Get the car pointing towards the next section of the track as soon as you can, so you can quickly but carefully get back on the throttle. Bring yourself towards the left. This next right turn, you can take a flat out, but you just want to be a bit more careful with your turning. So using the entire width of the track so you can turn in as gently as possible. Look for the 200-meter board on the left. That's your final braking point. Getting ready to try to catch a car sliding around. A little bit of throttle input, trying to hit this apex, and you can just trying to be careful getting back on the throttle so the car doesn't slide any more than it already is, and avoiding touching the sand. So we'll go through this one more time, but this time this will be for the bumper cam homies. There we go. So once again, brake before the 100-meter board as we slowly get there. There we go. Brake before the 100-meter board, stay on fourth gear, and just carefully getting back on the throttle to try to prevent the car from sliding anymore. And again, the less that you can get this car to slide, the better, as this car just loves to slide around. The comfort medium tires also does not help with the cause. Fourth gear through turn number 2. Bring yourself towards the right and brake before the 50-meter board. I'm shifting down right away, so just as I start to brake. Some people do wait until they're about to hit the apex before they shift down to third gear. A little bit of braking and throttle control as you go through these series of turns. Dip 2 wheels onto the sand to give yourself a wider entry towards this left turn. And yeah, just try to be really careful there. Really easy to slide right there, which will cost you quite a bit of time. Now this next right turn coming up can be taken flat out. You just need to give yourself some space, so use the entire width of the track. So there you go, easy flat out through there, trying to turn in as gently as possible. Now look for the 200-meter board. That's your final braking point, and here, yeah, the car loves to slide around, so you do have to be careful with that. Try to catch the car and keep it from sliding around too much. Nice and careful back on the throttle, and finish your lap. And with this, I was able to get a 133.7, and I was pretty surprised I was able to get this time because I was dozing off. It was 2 in the morning since I'm not working today, but yeah, there you go. Hopefully this lap guide helps you out. This is Mr. MCA, and I'll see you in the next video.